What are the conditions like in Port St. Lucie right now?
In Port St. Lucie, we're not quite yet up to tropical storm force winds, Anderson, just below. And as you just heard, we're having those squall lines come up, and in those squalls, you get the gusts, but we're not to the thick of it yet. And unfortunately, this has been a long event, and this will be going on all the way through tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I mean it's a long event. It's a confusing event. Obviously, with forecasts changing, the path of the storm, a lot of different models for it. Do you have any better sense of what to expect? Because I know the storm tracks have been hard to pin down.
They have, and we've been, just like you, we've been watching now that the storm is on radar with such a clear signal. We're just watching it frame by frame, and it's just spinning there, just lashing the Bahamas. And I got to tell you, Anderson, watching and listening to the feed as I waited to speak with you and hearing the human tragedy continue to unfold in the Bahamas, that really is the real story. And I just want to use this opportunity to say we're very mindful of what's going on in the Bahamas, and we're incredibly sorry to see our friends suffering.
Yeah.
And once the danger is past us, and if we're fortunate enough to remain relatively unscathed, I'm going to call upon our community to reach out to our neighbors to the east. It should be easy, as you pointed out with that track, it should be easy for us to empathize, because for the better part of the last week, we also thought we would be a direct landfall. It's the perfect time to practice the golden rule.
Yeah. In past storms, has it been flooding or wind that typically causes the most damage in your area, or both?
Anderson, I think that we might have even spoken during Irma, and every storm is unique.
Yeah.
You have wet storms, you have wind storms, you have fast movers, you have slow super soakers. But what is happening to the Bahamas? I'm a native Floridian. I'm 44. Went to University of Miami the same year that Andrew hit. That was my freshman year.
Wow.
I personally haven't seen anything like what's happening in the Bahamas right now, and we should all wish for Dorian to move north as quickly as possible and die at sea.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of a Cat 4, Cat 5 storm sitting on an island like the Bahamas, with one point, I think 30 feet is the highest point on the island in the Bahamas. That's an extraordinary thing. I mean, I don't know that I've heard of that. A storm this size sitting on an island like that.
No, and we kind of share topography, of course, in Florida and the Keys and the Bahamas. So again, it's kind of should be really easy for us to put ourselves in their shoes and be there for them in their time of need. You made the point about the track, and it's true. Last night, I don't know who slept in Port St. Lucie, because Dorian was 100 miles away. It was still moving west at 5 miles an hour, and you felt like a loaded gun was pointed at you. Because if it didn't follow the track, if it didn't follow the imaginary line drawn on a map, it would be here in less than 30 hours, and the effects would be there much sooner. So we've just been watching it unfold since then, and it's certainly something that you and I probably haven't seen in our lifetime personally.
And I mean, you know better than anybody, but I've been to plenty of storms where you think it's going to hit one place, and in the news business, you go there, and then the last second it changes direction, and that's it wreaks havoc in another community that wasn't expecting it as much, and that's just one of the horrible things about these storms, and for an official like you to have to prepare for it and try to get people to evacuate, and yet not be able to say 100%, yeah, it's going to hit here. It's a really difficult thing, and I appreciate all you're doing. Greg Oravec, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.